Good evening, everybody. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy. Been kind of a hectic week around here. Haven't been able to get one together. Had death in the family. So, ain't been on the radio much. Kind of a follow-up to a couple of previous videos I've made. And mainly I'm doing this follow-up because of questions I've been getting. And y'all don't know how much I appreciate the comments and questions in my videos. I really do. I like helping people with this hobby, and I really enjoy the comments and the questions I get and the feedback. So thank y'all very much. W5DLX myself was talking the other night on 10 for a few minutes, and one of the questions I got the other day was about the use of a 10-12 meter mobile on 10 meters, but the radio didn't have sideband. Cody and I were talking about different radios you could use and things like that. And one of the things, everybody, hey, Ham Radio Cat. Aaron, old buddy, my #1 fan, Ham Radio Cat finally made the scene. Yep, he's going to get jumped down here, I think. Those different radios, we've talked about these in videos before. The mobile, 10 meter mobile radios are great. But you've got to use one that has VFO and has single sideband, because he had checked last night, and well, I thought I was right. He checked me, and he was right. We were right. As a novice technician, which there's still some novice hams out there, even though that's not a class license anymore. But as a new tech, you're allowed on 10 meters on voice privileges, but only single sideband, and only 28.3 to 28.5. So you've got to have a radio that's got to have single sideband on it. And a lot of those President and Connex and other 10, 12 meter radios out there that put out 25 watts, but they only have AM and FM on. I really don't know what those radios are used for, unless it's something that's easily modifiable into 11 meters, which is a ham, you know, we're not supposed to do that. Or not realizing that 11 meters is, I think in Europe, is used as FM. That you can use a CB on FM in Europe with their laws. But as a technician in our laws, you're only allowed single sideband. And there's several radios available like that. You know, the Ranger 2950 comes to mind. I've had two of them. Wish I had them both back, or at least one of them back. Don't really know why I'd use it now, but it'd make a good field day radio or a mobile radio. Uniden made some good 10 meter mobiles. WD5HKV got one back in the day, and still got it. Had a little trouble with the audio on it, but he still got it and used it. The old Radio Shack, I think HTX 100, was the ultimate technician 10 meter mobile radio, but all it had on it was single sideband and CW. But we want you on 10. 10's been opening up a lot more here lately. And even you guys that don't think 10 is open, get over there and call CQ and tune around. 28.400, 28.450, two good frequencies to stay. And if 10 is open at all, there's always going to be the bulk of the stuff is going on in the technician portion of the band, 28.3 to 28.5. In fact, a lot of times, if the band really open good, I always make a habit to go up to about 28.5 and go above it, say 28.550, 575, and just see, because I've made several contacts up there where a general class or above will get up to that part of the band and a little quieter sometimes, and you can make some good DX contacts if you got a general class license or above. But the main thing we want to do, stay within our license confines, but get you on 10 meters. Now, having said all of that, you're going to pay upwards of close to $300 for a new Ranger or any kind of a 10 meter radio that's got single sideband on it, 25 watt capability. I know I keep this channel centered about radio on a budget, because I've been on a budget all my life. But if you can afford it, and you're planning on upgrading to General, try to find you a good used HF rig. There are many rigs available out there. That 5DLX is running a used 891 he found on one of the Facebook sites for, I think he told me, $5.25 shipped. And having real good luck with the radio. Said it looked like a brand new radio, had all the boxes and manuals with it. So look around for some deals like that. Ham radio swap meets, tailgate sales are starting to show back up. You can find rigs there. You just got to be careful what you're buying. Like I've said in some other videos. My rule of thumb on gear there is if the guy's got it displayed neatly and the radio's clean and he's got his table clean and look like he's put it up there and took care of it, and those guys will answer questions about it, talk to them about it. But if you find a guy that's just got stacks upon stacks of electronic gear just stacked everywhere, and some of it might be a little dusty, a little dirty, and it looks like it's just been toted from one sidewalk sale to the next, you might want to be aware. You may find a good deal there. You sure might, but you sure may be aware of what you're buying. Most hams are honest as the day is long and will tell you the truth about the radio. I know my old 701, the receive went out on it. And still transmitted fine. Full power output, would not pick up nothing. And I took it to one of the last ham calls back in '09. The guy asked me about it. I told him everything right or wrong about it. Told him exactly what it was doing, and he paid me for it. He knew up front what he was getting. So look around, get an Elmer to go with you. And especially if you're thinking about upgrading, go ahead and take the dive, try to get you a general class, a HF radio if you're thinking about getting your general class license. It saves you money in the long run, and there's nothing wrong with sticking with 10 meters on 10 meter mobiles. They work great. Like I said, everything we do in this hobby is going to cost a little bit. Depending on how much you want to put in it and how much you're capable of putting in it, is sky's the limit, basically. So, got field day coming up. We had planned to set up field day station. I've got a family commitments coming up. I'm afraid it's going to mess me up on field day this time. I hope it doesn't. I told Cody, he wanted us old guys to do winter field day, and we chickened out. I told him, I said, well, if I don't make this, and I will do winter field day, I'll just have to remember my old infantry grunt days when I try to pretend I could tough it out again out there in the cold weather. But I hope we can do field day this year, but I don't know. It's going to be close. Get some QSL cards. QSL is a fun part of this hobby. I'm waiting on some country cards now I've got out. And one of the good things about having you're setting up a profile on QRZ, you can check, and most people, especially foreign nations, foreign operators, has got the QSL information posted. Makes it a lot easier to send a card, and most of these guys got an email address. If you got any questions about trying to send them a card or how they want it, whatever, email them. I do it all the time, and I always get a response back. And so far, every guy I've emailed, I've got my card back from them. I got waiting on a card out now from French Guiana, and can't remember the other country I got one out on now, but I've got dang, I'd look at my logbook. But I worked an island off the coast of Mexico. So yeah, and I've got waiting on both those cards. Emailed both of them, found out how they wanted the card sent to them. And if you got a lot of guys in foreign countries will have a QSL manager in another country. Makes it easier to get the card. It really does. But get some cards printed up and send them out. Everybody wants to go to these electronic log books, things like that. That's fine. I'm still kind of old school on mine. I use the QRZ log book and still keep my paper log. But I like to send and receive hard QSL cards. So that's one of the really good aspects of this hobby. There's another little subject I'm trying to cover, but it's been a hectic week around here, and I may have forgotten part of what I was going to talk about. But check with an Elmer, check with a club to get on the air. Find you a radio. throw up a dipole. 10-meter dipoles work great. They're easy to handle. Don't take a lot of room to put them up. Doesn't take a lot of material to build one out. I bet you if you got any scrap stuff around your house at all, you can dig up enough scrap wire to build a 10-meter dipole, and just need to run a coax and a way to get it in the air. Cody, talking last night, he's fixing to try one of the MFJ rotatable dipoles on 17, and they sell them for 10. Now, MFJ sells some really inexpensive antennas. And a lot of people condemn them for different things, but I've got a 2-element MFJ Moxon 10-meter up that works as good as any 10-meter Yagi I've ever had. I run it with an old TV rotator on a 50-foot push-up pole. So I've got, if you replace the TV rotator today, it's $120, $150 for push-up pole, $90 and $99 antenna on it. So I'm looking at about $400 antenna setup versus, you know, upwards of $10,000 if you go full up, brand new rotators, brand new towers, things like that, and works great. But main thing, if you got questions, please feel free to email me or comment a question. I try to answer every comment. Check Main Trading Company in Paris, Texas. Excellent ham radio site. Got a good website, and they do shipping. The only thing I don't think they'll ship is the push-up poles, but good company to deal with. Always information available on Facebook through Facebook pages, Amateur Radio, Elmer's, Ham Radio Flea Market Trading Post, your local club pages, like our local area up here in Texarkana. We got 4 States Amateur Radio Club, over Shreveport Amateur Radio Club, Dallas Amateur Radio Club, Dallas, Texas, Cowtown Amateur Radio in Fort Worth, Texas. Check with those clubs. Ask questions. There's always somebody that's going to try to help you with this hobby any way you can. Look at the radios available. All kinds of them out there available right now. I know all of us kind of working on a budget, but get on HF, get on 10 meters. Just don't stick with your VHF, UHF privileges, because I know it's real easy to get a talkie, especially if you live in a big city and you're on the air. $35, you're good to go. In fact, I think they're about $25 now. You're good to go. But, and if that's part of the hobby you really enjoy, stick with it. But try the HF low band stuff out. I believe you'll really like it. All right, thanks again for everybody who's subscribed to the channel. We're up to 306 subscribers on the channel. Get all my ideas through HKV and DLX. We really enjoy promoting this hobby. Hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend. Remember what the holiday's about. Again, thanks to everybody who subscribed to the channel. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy 73.